I said
Yes.
the fact that that wasn't a 4-chair term was dumb. Dumb.
Dumb.
And yeah, I said it. I said
Dumb.
it. I'm gonna call out the folks. I'm calling out coaches this podcast. You are my shining star, my God. Let me stop. Let me stop. Let me stop. I'm getting ahead of myself. Hello, welcome to the Pitchy Podcast. We are your hosts, James
and Stephanie.
Here on the Pitchy Podcast, we are passionate about good music and a great vocal. We'll use the vehicle of NBC's The Voice to give you our take and our feedback on each contestant's performance and overall voice. On the Pitchy Podcast, we'll always keep it 100 about our feedback and critiques in regards to each contestant, but what we're never here to do is come for any contestant as an individual or as a human being or any character issues with the contestant, because frankly, we're here for the voice.
That's right.
So we, although come off a little pitchy more times, or at times, what we're always here to do and will always come in love and respect and truth and kindness and all of those wonderful things, because we know how hard it is for each person to get up there and do what they do. So with that,
Yes.
What are we on? Night 4?
Night 4.
Of season 27.
Yes.
Y'all, Stephanie, y'all. Well, yeah, I'm talking to everybody and I'm talking to Stephanie, of course, but Pitchies and Stephanie, you know what? I can truly say I feel like this season is coming on really strong. Like,
Yes.
I feel like
I'd
the
agree.
past couple of seasons, Stephanie, we had to kind of ramp up to get into this season. There are
Right.
some contestants I'm very excited about from the jump. And if I think you and I are excited in the blinds, that means it should only get better from there.
Absolutely.
So here we go. Let me go ahead and get my little pitchy comments together. If you all didn't hear, the opening for the night, it's a bop, as Stephanie would say.
Never too much, never too much.
This is a song that there's a caveat, a very huge caveat. In my opinion, this is a shoo-in song if it's executed correctly, because it's such a feel-good song written by, in my opinion, arguably one of the greatest voices of all time, through any genre, R&B, soul, and just any, like, it's Luther is the voice, y'all. He's like Whitney. He's the voice. It's who me and Stephanie grew up on. Our parents introduced us to him at a very young, probably from birth. And to come, Mr. Kolby Cordell came in with Never Too Much, Never Too Much, Never Too Much by the Luther Vandross. And Luther is hallowed ground for me. And I'm sure he is for Stephanie too, because it's all about execution. You can't do too much. But if you're going to do something, in my opinion, Stephanie, you're going to do what Kolby did. I thought the execution was PhD. I put nice runs, nice making it your own, nice change of melody and rhythms. Did you see that? Like, he even changed rhythms. And it's a Luther song. So you're already going to get runs. You're already going to get flawless melody. You're always going to get a song that you immediately start bopping to. That's why we call it a bop. And I said, you're always going to get syncopations. But Kolby found a way to what's the word, Stephanie, when you take something apart?
Deconstruct.
Deconstruct Never Too Much, which is one of Luther's biggest songs, to rebuild it back up to to me, which has been one of the strongest auditions of this season. Look how he worked the crowd too. Like, you love this guy. You loved his you loved his backstory. You loved, like, he's like, I'm a dad. I'm just trying to do this. This is for my kid. I said, Kolby is a star. The fact that this dude is just, a regular working dude trying to take care of his kid. Like, I'm just like, dude, you should be singing.
Yes.
I said, the fact that wasn't a 4-chair term was dumb. And yeah, I said it. Said it. I'm going to call out the folks. I'm calling out coaches this podcast. Maybe y'all, I'm tired. I'm short-tempered. I'm not going to be rude, but I'm going to call out, y'all. I've been going nonstop, but that's just life be life. And I said, it's crazy. But I don't think he should have picked John. And I think I'm going to save that for the Patreon. Please check out our Patreon for $5 a month. Just $5. We give you more bonus, a lot of the time more salacious or juicy content.
Not salacious.
It's a big word today. And I'm just, I'm trying to get my energy up, y'all, because it's a big week for me. But Stephanie, I could go on about Kolby. I can't wait to hear what you said, because I know when that drops, Stephanie. That's one of those intros, right? When that thing drops, I know Stephanie was like, "Oh, he's singing Lufa with an F."
With an F. Yeah, I was gonna find you and we was gonna throw hands. I was gonna throw hands if you didn't like this audition, because I know.
My goodness.
Well, but I know how particular you can be with Luther. Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. But we was gonna have to throw hands, because what I thought what Kolby did was brilliant. This would have been an instant button press for me.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have had this. I would have heard one note out of his mouth and I would have been like, bop, 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 bop. I can't stop. I can't help. Can't help. And you're right. As soon as you hear the intro, doom, 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 it's like,
yeah, you're like,
But this song, you have to be a skilled artist in order to pull off the song for multiple reasons.
Yes,
the
definitely.
first reason is that it's because it's an up tempo and it don't quit. And there's a lot of words. So in order to be able to get out all of those words, you have to have breath support, and you have to plan what you're going to do. And I really love the fact that Kolby, it felt like he planned where he was going to do some melodic choices, where he was going to do some rhythmic choices that are different than the original, where he was going to do some runs that were absolutely brilliant. And I love that John did point out how he heard like the gospel inflections of that Kolby was doing within the song, which is different than, like John referenced, than what a Luther does, because Luther is more of like a silky kind of singer. And I loved hearing the growl in Kolby's voice as he was doing this song, and his stage presence was off the charts, which with an up-tempo, you have to have some kind of stage presence as well. This was a incredible opening number, and I was so pulling for him from his B-roll, because he just seemed like such a great guy that when he opened up his mouth and he started to sing, I was like, this is the R&B goodness, more R&B goodness, because we've had some R&B goodness already this season from some of our male artists. But I was like, I can never have too much. I can never have too much of that particular sound. And I was so happy that Kolby delivered.
You know what? I'll ask you that question on the Patreon. Y'all check out that Patreon. I have a question for you.
Okay.
1 month, $5 a month. Okay.
$5
awesome.
a month.
All right. So super start, but y'all know how The Voice does things. We did
kind of. I'm sorry, but we did reference it a little bit, but I want to make it clear. So John and Michael turned for Kolby, and Kolby ended up going with John Legend.
Adam and Kelsea, like, really? Anyway,
was y'all speakers not on?
I'll talk about that later, because I'll just talk about that later, and y'all check out the Patreon, please. Okay, all right. So Stephanie, who's next?
So next up was Hailey Wright, 19 years old from Redwater, Texas, and she sang Before the Next Teardrop Falls. I believe it's by Freddie Fender.
Um,
And I
first
believe
of-
Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton also did a version of this song as well.
But if it ever breaks your heart, if those teardrops ever start, I'll be there before the next teardrop falls.
first of all, stunning, beautiful young lady, stunning. And her B-roll was so powerful. I'm in love with her stepdad. Like.
Oh yes.
And I wouldn't even. You know what? I hate that term because I am not a stepdad. I'm a dad. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't believe in step. That saying, that man is, that woman, that young lady is his daughter. Okay. And you got to watch the episode to check out the B-roll. It's interesting. I'm going to jump around a bit to the what the I think it was Kelsea started to speak into her. I heard Reba. For some reason, she gave me a Reba vibe. Kelsea was named Trisha Yearwood, and
Winona.
who else was she named? Winona. Right. I thought of another redhead personally. I thought Reba, her sound, I said it was like country with almost a Tejano sound, like a Selena, right? Right? Like I don't know. I heard.
Come on, bitty bitty bum bum.
Yeah, I heard a Tejano music sound in her. I like her voice. Her voice reminded me of a mixture of country, bluegrass, and Tejano music. I said it was wild. I said it was very mature for 19. I said she has a very unique tone. It is a very, very much a storytelling voice. I said, give someone like Hailey Jolene, and you will get probably one of the most brilliant, haunting renditions of that song that you will ever hear. She's got that type of voice that will take us there with that song. That voice that song needs since Dolly, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Beyonce and Miley did a wonderful rendition. But I want to hear Jolene is almost haunting. Because it is a song of desperation. And that's what I hear in her voice. Like, I hear the pain. I hear her figuring out who she is ethnically, and her whole life getting spun around because she didn't realize that she was indeed, she had a different father. And like, I just hear all that in her voice, that discovery and removal from struggle, if that makes sense. So I like Hailey. I want to hear more. I need to hear Jolene because I'll be like this, like, because it's going to be crazy if they give her. She has that voice that could really deliver on a song like that.
Yeah.
Stephanie?
Yeah, so Hailey was actually my watch with me, which if you are on Patreon, I record myself watching one of the artists, at whatever time it works
Watch
out
with
for me.
Was the leak. Oh no, you do the leak also.
I do the leak also, but I also do like live while I'm watching the show. I come over to my computer and I watch and react live to a random artist. And today it was Hailey. And just like you, I was really touched by her story. It was interesting because as she was talking about like her hair was different than her sister's and all that, I was like, but they're not going to say she got a different daddy. And sure enough, they was like, she got a different daddy. And I was like, oh my God, that's what it actually was. Like, oh, okay. But it was really cool to see her daddy be so emotional and so like love her so much. And her sisters, her stepdaddy, but like you said, her daddy and her sisters. Yeah, it was really cool. Yeah. So when she began, like my mouth was like this. because she came in country strong. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of voice I was expecting, but she came in strong with her vocal. And it was great. It was like that old school female country sound. She had that yodel. She has range. Uh, you they were shocked at how old she was. And I was shocked with the vocal that was coming out of her mouth because it sounded like a very much more mature vocal, but it was really cool to hear that kind of country sound because we have not really heard a lot of that this season. It felt very like Patsy Cline, like old school, like vocal.
They had
She
her sing
did,
blue. They had her just
yeah.
blue.
They did, which I was like, that was kind of smart, but it's also
Yeah.
kind of not smart because she can't sing it within the competition. And I would have liked to have heard her sing that during the competition. So I get why Kelsea did it, but I was like, if you already knew you were going to pick her, don't be wasting songs right here.
Especially
I
a
think that
song as good as Blue.
exactly. I think that she got a little bit nervous after Chair's turn, which I've been finding that artists do get a little bit more nervous once the Chair's turn and the coaches are actually looking at them. But it didn't take away from what I heard of the quality of her sound. And I think she's going to do well in this competition.
Yeah. Awesome. So who did she wind up choosing?
So Michael and Kelsea turned for her, and she ended up going with Kelsea.
Good pickup for Kelsea. I think she is going to grow by leaps and bounds, and Kelsea is
I
going
do
to
too.
give her the exact song she needs to make a deep run.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Great story. Great person.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Who do we have next?
Next up was Fran Posla. 25 years old, originally from Costa Rica, now living in New York. And she sang What the World Needs Now Is Love. Burt Bacharach
Burt
song.
Bacharach.
Dionne Warwick made famous.
It's the only thing that deserves to live. Woo!
Absolutely. What a cool voice, Stephanie. What a cool
Super
voice.
cool.
Reminds me of a modern day Carole King. Not a perfect voice, but a voice that is unique and tells a story. She's just so chill,
Tracking.
and I'm not surprised that Adam and John turned for her. Because
Yeah.
she was giving me that Adam vibe, right?
Yes.
Like I just was like, oh, this is Adam. This is all Adam. Like just because
Mm-hmm.
she's just got
Mm-hmm.
that can't pigeonhole her into a genre type of voice like Adam, has. Adam could have been an R&B singer. He could have,
Mm-hmm.
he could have sung any genre really.
Right.
And I think, I'm kind of giving it away, but I think I was really hoping that she would choose Adam because I think Adam is going to pick the right song for her. I think with a voice like Fran's, it's song choice. Like you have
It
to
is song
have
choice.
the correct song choice for a voice like that because it could
Yeah.
go in a not so good direction if she does not get good songs.
Right.
But I feel like Adam is going to give her that coaching guidance to give her the best songs and make her voice sound in the best light. I want to hear more because it's a voice that you don't hear. And I just she just was chill the entire time. So, okay, it's cool. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like hippie chill,
Yeah.
But I really liked her vibe. Like I really I want to know more and I want to hear more with Fran.
That vibrato. Oh my God.
Yeah,
When the first line, I was like, ooh, I was
yeah,
like, oh, she got one of them voices. She got, and just like you said, one of those, like, you can't really pigeonhole it voices. Like, she could sing a little bit of everything, jazz inflections in there, rock inflections in there, lots of rasp, range. Like, Fran is an artiste. Like, she's an artist. when I believe John asked her who some of her musical influences were, and she said D'Angelo and Alan Stone. I was like, oh, all right, sis. I see where you're coming from. I see
What she, what she said? What
where
she
you're
said?
coming from.
I got stuck in D'Angelo for a bit.
And John said like most of us did at the time when he was very, very popular. Yes. It was interesting when John said that she reminded him of Corinne Bailey Rae. I could kind of hear that. What really impressed me was at the end, Kelsea was singing, "Girl, put your records on." I said, Kelsea is a real one. Don't
She
sleep
knows
on
all of it.
Kelsea. Kelsea is a real one. I would love to.
She reminds me of Taylor Swift. She knows every
Yes,
song,
she
right?
knows all the songs, all the songs. So I'm really interested to hear the songs that her coach picks out for her. I would love to hear some songs in that R&B soul lane, maybe a little Joss Stone thrown in there.
Her whole
You know,
vibe is just great.
a little fell in love with a boy, a little something like that. Oh, I would love it.
Bruised.
So,
I need to hear some bruised but not broken.
uh,
Cause I'll be
so
all right and I'll love again.
yes.
Oh yeah, my voice is shot today.
Oh well, you can rest it a little bit. Well, not during this episode. You're not gonna rest after. So Fran got 2 chair turns. She got turns from John and Adam, and in the end, Fran picked Adam.
Yeah, perfect choice. They're gonna, you know what I love about this show, Stephanie, is that they do leave room for like a bohemian type of singer. And
Yeah,
because in my opinion, it's needed. It's needed.
yeah,
More neo soul type singing is needed for a show like The Voice, just to give it some, variety.
absolutely.
Um, okay, that's awesome. Okay, our next contestant was.
It was Dimitrius Graham. He is 33 years old from Be More, and he sang "Get You" by Daniel Caesar. Be more.
You're all I need. Every time I get a bit inside, I'm feeling.
I said, you better sing some Daniel Caesar, son. I said,
Yes.
number one, well, I guess I'll tell him myself. I'm a trained opera singer. I don't sing opera anymore. But I really was like, Stephanie, when that B-roll came on and he was talking about like I said, yes. I said, I love it. I love it. I said, you
Mm-hmm.
are classical music's worst nightmare in the best sense, because everyone probably thinks you're a thug because of your tatted face and blah, 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 and baggy pants, the whole outfit. And like, he's like, yo, I grew up in the hood, and you don't need a show like The Wire to know that there are some hoods in Baltimore.
Oh
But
yeah.
I love the fact that it just goes to show when you have a influencer, right? When you are at an
Yes.
impressionable age and you are influenced by it. That's why teachers, to me, Stephanie being a teacher herself, need to get paid $200,000 a year, because you are
I'd go back
cultivating
for
the
that.
minds. She said, y'all can be in school all day.
Yeah, I'd go back for that check.
Because it's just such a moldable time in a child's life, and it really sets a path in a lot of cases, in a direction in
Yeah.
what the child's going to go. And
Yeah.
obviously, Demetrius had a teacher that had him fall in love with classical music, and he
Yeah.
could sing. If you watch the videos, like, he could sing opera really well.
Yes. Yes.
I said,
Yes.
it is a sweet, and Demetrius, if you're watching, I don't want you to get offended when I say this, but you have a very sweet voice. It is like,
Okay,
that's
I
the
said the
best
same
way.
thing.
Really, of course you did, because you and I sometimes, I was like, it's just such a sweet, sweet voice. I said, your upper extension is glorious, and that is your classical training, obviously. I want to hear more, but I want to hear you on a different song. I
Yes.
didn't think the Daniel Caesar, even though it's a wonderful song and it's a now
Yeah.
song, I don't think it showcased your voice. I
No.
believe, and I wrote this, the last thing I said about Demetrius, I said, I believe, Stephanie, he is saving his holleration.
Okay, it's really interesting how close our notes are. I said sweet tone. I said he has holleration. I can hear it. I
Yeah.
said wrong song choice.
No,
I
wrong
said
song
I
choice.
can
That's
hear
what
the
I'm so glad
range.
somebody turned, right? I'm so glad he got
Yeah,
turned
yeah, yeah.
because it was the
I
wrong song.
said great smooth R&B vocal. Let me say this to be clear for those of you who might be new around here. When we talk about song choice, we are not assuming that the artist got to solely pick their song, okay? So when we say song choice, we are not getting on the artist because we think that they made the wrong choice. They're singing the song that they were approved to sing, whether it was their number one choice or not. I just think that a better song would have showed off his voice better. Last thing that I wrote was that he's got unlimited talent because he's got
Yeah.
unlimited vocal resources. He's got that gospel, he's got that soul, he's got opera, he's got the R&B. Like he's got unlimited vocal resources to draw from, which is why even with a song choice that wasn't that great, he still got 2 chair turns. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing more from Dimitrius.
So who turned for Demetrius?
So Kelsea and Michael turned, which was a pattern, and they referenced that in the show, how it seems like Michael and Kelsea are going for a lot of the same sounding artists. In the end, I think Demetrius made a really great choice in picking Mr. Bublé because
Yeah.
he recognizes that Bublé is all about that throat and is really going to focus on, having him sound to the best of his ability. So, good
Bublé,
choice.
because Demetrius, like you said, there's unlimited potential. Watch Bublé give him some standards, and he'll slay it. Watch.
I think so.
It'll be
Absolutely.
crazy, and then you're
Yes.
going to hear him be able to sing another genre incredibly, and that's
Yeah.
why I agree with you. I think the pickup for Bublé was huge because Bublé,
hmm
like I feel like Demetrius is still, even though he's not as young as he was when he started being exposed to all these different genres of music. I feel
Right.
like I feel like Demetrius is still very moldable as an artist and still trying to figure out his sound.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
hmm
Awesome pickup for Michael.
Yes.
Speaking of Michael, I've got a lot to say about this next one. So Stephanie, and I'm
Ooh,
not going to hold my tongue, y'all. I'm about to get real pitchy because I'm very, very angry. And
oh. Oh.
I'll
Okay.
explain why.
Okay. Okay. I know where you're going. I know where you're going. Okay. I got nervous. Olivia, girl. Olivia, I got nervous, girl. But this ain't going to be about you. He's not going. His vitriol is not coming towards you. I'm quite sure. So Olivia Kuper Harris is our next artist, 34 years old, from Dallas, Texas, living in Los Angeles, and she sang "Dream a Little Dream of Me" by Doris Day.
Dream a little dream of me.
What?
Dream a little dream of me.
Okay. I'll start with Olivia because that's what it needs to be about. It needs to be about the artist first, and then I'll go to my pitchy section.
Pitchy section.
I just loved, even before her saying, giving her background, just some people just have a light about them. Some people
Yes,
just
they
have a
do.
presence about them. And her entire vibe, her look, like the throwback hair, the outfit, just the way she talked to, the camera loves her. Like it's
Yes.
just it was one of those everything's gonna be all right vibe type of people.
Yes. Yeah.
But then she just had to say one artist that she has done work with, and I said, it's over. I said, because Stephanie and I both know if you had an opportunity, a blessed opportunity to perform with Postmodern Jukebox, Look, my college roommate toured with Postmodern Jukebox. He's on Broadway right now, okay? If
Enough
you
said.
had an opportunity to sing with Postmodern Jukebox, y'all, if you do not know about them, just pull any Postmodern Jukebox song up on YouTube, a video up on YouTube, and the takes that they do, what he does to songs.
Mm-hmm.
He'll take a popular song over, not necessarily now. Some of the songs are now, but some of them are old.
Right.
But he'll flip the genre on the song. So if
Mm-hmm.
it's like, I don't know, a rock song, like he'll turn a rock song into an R&B song, like stuff that
Right.
Stephanie and I like love to hear.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, "Oh, Miss Olivia Cooper Harris toured with Postmodern Jukebox." I said, "It's a wrap.
It's a wrap."
I said, well, watch. She's just going to win the show. And that's before she even sang. I haven't even heard, and I wrote, I haven't even heard her sing yet. And then I wrote, then as she's singing, which of course it's glorious, as she's singing, I said, if Blue Blade does not turn, I said, did you hear that? And then I wrote, did you hear that run? And I
Did you
wrote,
hear that,
what
Ron?
an idiot. I said, he's jealous. He's jealous. It's the only reason why, because he can't do, she sings his genre of music and he can't do what she can. And I'm sorry, Michael, if you watch us, I got to call you out, bruh. And I understand you explained yourself. You did. But it was a poor explanation as far as I'm concerned. I said, that's a pro. I said, Michael, go somewhere and sit down. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I know that you hold that genre of music very sacred, but she was doing with that genre of music, and I think John or somebody explained it perfectly, or Adam or whoever. So she was doing with that genre of music what needs to be done. She knew the assignment, she took the assignment, and she did the extra credit. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Olivia Cooper Harris, to me, as far as I'm concerned, she is one of the top runners in my book. Because, and then what she did at the end, I said, I just, yeah. It's like, oh, ew. I said, Michael, you just mad because you can't do it.
You mad, bro?
That's fine. You should be like, you know what? I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. You should. When I hear a singer that can do things that I can't do, I'm like, teach me.
Teach
right?
me.
Because everyone's teachable. I don't care if you are a billionaire.
Absolutely.
I don't care if Michael's been he's been in the game for over 20 years. I get it. This is your genre. This is your lane. But Olivia Cooper Harris is special.
Yes, she is.
All right, that's all I'm going to say. Stephanie?
I don't have a lot of notes because the moment her mouth opened, my mouth opened, and I was just like, because everything that
I Postmodern Jukebox too, and you said, "Oh, it's a rap."
Yeah, I almost just put my pen down because I'm like, I know I'm not going to have much to say other than I just want to enjoy this because I already know what's coming. And the minute her mouth opened, I was like, "Yep." But what was surprising were like the runs and things that she was doing, the more contemporary and more modern things that she was doing in within this genre. And it was funny because what you were referencing was John Legend basically saying she's doing what you've done to this genre. She just did it better. She just did it better. And Michael was kind of like, and it's like he almost wanted to turn the button to turn himself like back around so he didn't have to face her because it was shame. And I'm glad John called him out on that because I'm like, you be kind of doing the same thing within this standard genre.
A 3-tier turn. Blue Blade was the only one that didn't turn. I said, Michael.
I said, I said, you jealous. You jealous. You scared. You think that there's nothing that you scared that she would pick you and you wouldn't have nothing to give that child. You wouldn't have nothing to say to her because she right. She was fantastic. Yes, she was fantastic. And I love what you said that she was a light because she was. She literally shone on the screen. even before she started to sing. And then when she started to sing, it was like, okay, this is almost too much. I don't even know what to write. Like, dang. That's all I can write. Dang.
Then she gave us one of those, what's my man, the runs I call it, that be sneaking out of nowhere just to show you that she can run.
The Chris Stapleton
run. She gave us a Chris Stapleton run in the middle of the song, and I said,
she did.
And then she did that. She did that minor thing at the end, run at the end. I said, okay.
And I said, mm-hmm.
That's what I didn't know it. Postmodern jukebox has, I mean, the singers sing for postmodern jukebox. Okay, singers.
Mm-hmm.
People singers who are like, I want to sing like that person. They sing for postmodern. Jukebox.
Right.
So I mean, she's like, oh yeah, and she was so humble about it. She's like, yeah, I toured with postmodern. So,
like what?
I said, it's a wrap. All right.
Yeah. So Adam John.
We're gonna fight over her.
Yeah, Adam, John, Kelsey turned, and she ended up going with John.
Yeah, great pickup, huge. John always builds the strongest team. He doesn't win seasons, but he, in my opinion, and I think sometimes that's to his detriment. Because it's like some of the best singers get out early because they're up against the other best singers of the competition.
Yes,
we've seen that too many seasons.
Yes,
too many. But yeah, awesome. Oh, I can't wait to hear. Oh, Lord, this girl can sing anything. I cannot wait to hear her in the battles. It's going to be nuts.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so who's next, Steph?
So next up is Kaiya Hamilton, 26 years old from the ATL, and she sang the I See You by Coco Jones.
Very Now song. I love that build on that part of the song.
Yeah.
I said, some people just look like a singer. Like,
she looked like a singer.
Like, in her B-roll, I said, okay, Kaiya just looks like a singer. Like, she just looks like she will come out and lay it down. I was actually a little surprised. I said, first of all, sing the song, girl. I said, but it was a low-key fire voice, right? I actually want to hear her upper extension. They were talking about how good her lows and her alto were, which I know Stephanie can. I have Stephanie talk to that. I said she just is soul. She just has soul. And we'll talk about who she went with. First of all, her daughter was just I just wanted to take her home. Like, her daughter was just with the headphones. I thought she was adorable. I love that her boyfriend is holding it down at home with the new twins, and I love her Be Real. I need to hear a different song because I know she can bring it. I just know. And not that this song was bad and it was a bad audition. I just thought it was a little low energy for me. And I need to hear her sing a bop because I know she has it. She's a wedding singer. Like she said, she has 1,000 songs in her noggin. So I know it's gonna be crazy. So I'm glad people turned because I was afraid. I was so afraid because the energy is kind of a low energy song and doesn't go that far range wise. Like, I was a little afraid that they weren't going to turn. We all know Kaiya can sing, but I just don't know if it was necessarily the right song choice. But I want to hear more because she's a singer. Stephanie?
I completely agree. I did not like the song choice at all. I don't think that it showcased her voice the way that you need to for these blind auditions when you have such limited time. And you put words to what I couldn't figure out what else I was missing. It's a low energy song. I don't think that she was low energy, but it's just like a low energy, kind of more laid back song. I did hear richness in her voice. I did hear range a little bit. I did hear just I heard the alto rich deliciousness. I heard vocal control. I just wanted to hear more range. I wanted to hear more of what her voice could do because I could tell that she could, like, just like Kelsea said, she is a singer. Like, you could tell that she was a singer. I just don't think that this song, when she said that, I was like, you know what? Come to the cookout, Kelsea. You can come. She was like, but I know you a singer. And I was like, okay. But yeah, I know that her voice is so much better than what she could display within this song. So I'm really glad, like you said, the chairs turned for her, and I'm looking forward to seeing and hearing her in the next round.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and I wanted to hold off because I want to discuss this for a second. Do you mind if I say who she went with?
Go ahead.
Okay, so she wound up choosing Michael as her coach, which I thought was a fabulous choice because I was like, you know, I think he is going to make things very interesting with helping her with the song choices because she is a singer. I cannot wait to see what Michael does because Michael's a really good coach.
Yeah,
I just talked a whole bunch of junk about him. That's because I was a little salty he didn't turn, but he's a really, really fantastic coach. And I think that was a very smart choice for her to pick Michael.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay. So our next were, voice, you're killing me, Smalls.
Yeah.
What we got, Stephanie?
Here's my theory. My theory is why we had these mini clips is because I think there might be only one more episode of Blinds left. So they were trying to just kind of get through everybody and let us at least see everybody that's going to make it up. I know. So we had 3 mini clips. We had Aaron Rizzo. He sang Drops of Jupiter, and he went to Team Buble. We also had Cameron Jazzo, and he sang This Town, and he also went to Team Buble. And then we had Nell Simmons. She sang Love Hangover, and she went with Team Legend. So what the little bits that we heard, the little 15 seconds.
I said, Cameron. Look out for Cameron. That was like Cameron, like is one of those things where, because I hate these clips, like I popped up. I said, oh, I want to hear more. Yeah. And then now I said she sounds really good, but that's all you get, right? You can't really talk to it.
That's all you get. Yeah, can't really talk to it, but I'm looking forward to hearing more.
All right, so who's next?
So next up, we have Antonio Ramsey, 35 years old, from Boynton Beach, Florida. And he sang Every Little Step I Take by Bobby Brown. Yeah.
Every little step I take, said you will. Oh, every little step I take. Hey, good loving. Good loving.
Did you see the 2 white boys?
They was kicking it. Okay, everybody.
No, 3 white boys. It was Carson too.
At Carson, everybody, all of them. They Carson was like,
that's a bop, y'all. That's the late 80s bop.
Yeah, okay? Adam and Michael was like, yeah. Like the fact that
toss and turn.
No, but the fact that Michael Bublé knew the words to this song threw me. He knew every word. I was like, okay, this is a level of Michael Bublé that has been unlocked that I did not know existed, but I'm feeling it. He knew every word.
Music.
Yes, him and Adam were like, yeah. Like at one point they showed like
John.
Like at one point they showed like a full shot of all 4 of the coaches, and they were all like, I was like, y'all ain't paying attention to this man and his vocal. Y'all too busy singing the song yourself. Carson.
I said the white boys were getting it in.
Yeah, they was getting it in. To some Bobby Brown.
Bobby Brown. King R&B.
Oh, Nikki,
we missed you. We missed you, Nippy.
Yes, we miss you.
You know what? You know what I like about Antonio?
What you
Antonio,
like?
you know how some people, when they come on this show, Steph, they're just so happy to be there, right? Antonio just
Right.
had this
Yeah.
beautiful smile on his face the entire time. Like, oh my
Yes.
gosh, this is it. Like,
Yes.
and Antonio, y'all, was a dancer, right? He was a dancer
Yes.
that
Yes.
was like, oh, by the way, I can sing too. And what did he say?
Yeah.
He toured with Missy? Who did he tour with?
Yes. He said Missy and somebody else. I forget who, but yeah, Missy Elliott.
Or Pharrell? Was it Pharrell? Missy?
No,
Um,
no.
anyway, and I was like, okay, was it the R&B voice that I necessarily wanted to hear on this show? No. But I'm gonna tell y'all something. Song choice. Stephanie's been saying it for years now. Song choice, song choice, song choice. There are some songs where you could sing just okay,
Yeah.
but they will get a turn regardless because it just puts you, like, it just takes you to that nostalgic place of the roller rink or whatever,
Right.
or, you
Right.
know, or that summer or whatever. And I felt like that with his wonderful attitude came over, and they were like, I'm going to bop this because I love this.
No, but they
Well,
didn't
actually,
bop him.
wait, excuse me. They did not. But
They didn't.
it felt like they were going to bop it just by the song alone. But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the song is your saving grace. But he was a no chair turn, which
He was.
we'll talk about this on the Patreon a little bit later. $5 a month, y'all. I'm so interested to hear, Stephanie, what you have to say about this audition.
I think that this was not a good song choice, only in that the coaches were so in love with the song themselves that I would wonder how much they were really paying attention to Antonio, because for half the time Adam and Michael were singing the lyrics themselves. So when you're singing something yourself, you're not really listening to the artist. So it's like, well,
singing them full out.
No, actually singing them. So it's like, well done for having a song that excites everybody, but it also distracted them as well. And also, when you hear a song that's so loved and so familiar, you're almost going to be extra critical of it too, because your point of focus is the original artist who you love so much. So I think all those things put together is why Antonio initially did not get a chair turn, because I think that once they did perk up and listen to him, they were like, well, they were comparing it to the original, which is tough. But that wasn't how the story ended for Antonio, because John Legend kind of felt similar. He felt like this might not have been the best song choice for his voice, actually, which that part of it I hadn't really thought of until John said that. So John asked him to sing something that was a little bit more mid-tempo and a little bit slower to kind of see how his voice sounded on something that, a little bit slower. So Antonio picked Knockin' the Boots by H-Town to sing. And I just was like,
I said, are you going to keep it there, Antonio?
He said,
you going to keep it in the niche?
He said, well, we made good love. So listen to some Marvin Gaye.
In the words of Luther Vandross, keep it right there, keep it right there.
Keep it right there, keep it right there.
He kept it in the genre. I said,
he
no,
sure did.
He did not sing H-Town.
Knocking the Boots. I said it would have been funny if he started out with
Gifted to some Marvin Gaye.
Marvin Gaye all night long.
Oh, I love that song.
I would have bopped too, John. I would have bopped too. You give us some body rocking, knocking the boots.
That was one of the songs we used to have to sneak when we were young, y'all. We had to sneak it.
Look, show you right. Show you right. So in the end, after he did his 15-second version of Knocking the Boots, John said, all right, I'm going to do it. So he hit his button for his coach replay. So Antonio is on Team Legend.
You better eat, Antonio. You better eat.
Hey,
you better
somebody rocking, knocking the boots.
Sing for your supper.
Some good love. Oh my goodness.
Oh, that song. See,
that
y'all,
song.
You got to understand, for those of you that don't know, songs like that, just like Every Little Step, songs like that are just so nostalgic for people like me and Stephanie. Like, it just takes us back to the time. That's why we're laughing. We're not laughing at Antonio. I'm laughing because he chose that song. I was like, the doll of the exclusive H-Town, Knocking the Boots. But it just takes us back, y'all. It just takes us back to our teenage years. It's just. Oh, rest in peace. I forget his name, but I remember he passed. Not too many years.
He did one of them.
I think he passed in a car accident. So rest in peace. I loved his. He just had. It was like the height of whiny Keith Sweat type R&B singing, and it was the height of it, you all. And it is a very small niche of music that if you go back and listen to that mid '90s R&B group, like it's just.
It was that gangster R&B. Like them, it was like hard.
The same lane as like Slim from not Mint Condition. I'm sorry.
112.
112, and it's just that niche, right? All right.
Body rocking,
Antonio, you better eat. You better work for your suppers. You better sing for your supper, sir. And he was like, you know what? I'm getting in this competition. Okay. All right. Our next singer is.
It is Robert Hunter, 33 years old, from Garner, North Carolina. And he sang Till You Can't by Cody Johnson. I love this song.
You got a dream chasing, 'cause the dream won't chase you back. If you come to somebody, hold them as long and as strong as hold that way till you can.
I do too.
I love this song.
Every season, Stephanie, it seems like we get those singers, in my opinion, that just need a platform. Like they're so good, they just need a platform. I said, great voice, great energy. You can tell this guy is a seasoned performer. I said he just needs I didn't have much notes because I was like, this dude's ready. Like he just needs exposure. So yeah, Stephanie, I think that Robert, like you can tell. Like the sacrifice his wife has made, the sacrifice he has being away from his daughter, and he's really trying to be that good dad and be that artist. But he's ready. He's ready. He's good. We always get artists like this, and they don't ever win it. And I want them to win it because, in my opinion, they need just the springboard, right? They need the springboard to launch their career. So I'm glad Robert is in this. I know he's going to go far because he's really good. Really good. Stephanie?
Yeah. I was like resident pro alert. That's just what he sounded like he had been performing forever, but just had not gotten his big opportunity. Kelsea pushed her button instantly, and I understand why. He's got that classic country vocal. Upper range, upper extension was beautiful. At some point, when he got into like the chorus part, Michael looked over to Kelsea and he was like, there it is. There's the voice. I thought up till then he sounded great, but once he got into the chorus and the upper extension of his voice, it was like, okay, now we can hear range, we can hear control, we can hear that holleration. I felt like by the end of the song, like he was in his upperest of upper range and he just kind of like went all in. And I thought that it paid off. I thought he sounded
Yeah.
spectacular. So I'm really, really happy that chairs turned for him and that he made it onto the show.
Who did Robert pick?
Kelsea and Michael ended up turning for him, and he went with Miss Kelsea.
Yes, awesome pickup for her. Kelsea's building a formidable team. She really is. Like and like doing it like people who you may not necessarily remember, but when they come back around, you're gonna be like, oh.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So our final contestant was our leak.
Yes.
And who do we have?
We have Lucia Flores-Wiseman, 22 years old, from Maple Valley, Washington, and she sang La Llorona by Angela Aguilar.
Yeah. So I just said everything, y'all. Everything, just everything. I said the voice. I was like, you know what? How can I explain this voice? I said the voice sounds like it should be in a Quentin Tarantino film. I said,
that's a great.
That's what it reminded me.
Great description. Yeah.
Like, I said it's raw, it's dirty, it's insanely grovelly. I said telling a story of heartache and you don't even know what a lot of you, like if you're not a native Spanish speaker, you don't even know what the words that she's singing, but you knew the way she emoted the song. I said, it's just, I can see why they went crazy. I know, Stephanie, we talked and you were like, I don't get it. But then I know that you later got it, right? Because it's so different. It's so different and it's so just insanely unique. And I hope she keeps this style through all of her songs because I think we're going to hear some incredible art when we hear songs that we know. And if she keeps it, like if this is her voice, right? And she keeps the style of what she auditioned with, we're going to hear some incredible interpretations of songs that we know. I thought this was a fabulous audition. She looked cool as a cucumber up there. Like it didn't even feel like, and then because when she started going her upper range, it almost was like a wail. And it just looked like it was as effortless as it was in her low grovelly stuff. And I just was like, the sky's the limit for this young lady. She is incredible. To me. The artistry. That's what stood out to me. Just she everyone is looking for someone like Adam even said it. He's like, I've never heard this before. I thought I've heard everything. And and I think that's what was so amazing, that these four coaches / artists / recording artists hit their button because they ain't never heard a sound like that before. And they were like, yo, that's crazy. So Lucia was she's the cat's meow.
Yes. So on Friday, when this leak dropped, I got ready like I usually do to record my reaction to it. And my recording was literally just me looking at my phone like this. Because I could not wrap. Number one, I couldn't wrap my brain around what was going on.
That's what you
because
said.
It was it was so different. I could not wrap my brain around it. Number two, to be perfectly honest, I was not feeling well on Friday, so I was not in a good mind frame to absorb something that I did not understand. So I got onto Patreon and I reached out to our pitchies and I said, y'all gonna have to help me. I'm clearly missing something because I've talked to James and he's falling all over this performance. The coaches, this was a 4-chair turn. Clearly, I'm missing something. Somebody help me. And we had a couple patrons come on and say, number one, this song is basically translated as the weeping woman. So it's a grieving song. It's full of pain and despair.
Plus, I know enough Espanol to pick up some words as to what she was singing, but you didn't even have to know it. You were getting that.
Yeah, I could tell that this was a painful song. It was interesting because somebody let me know that this song is in the Disney movie Coco, which I've never seen. But if there was some familiarity about the song for anybody, it might be because you've heard it in Coco. Also, someone said that this song is sung a lot around the Mexican holiday of Dia de los Muertos, which is the Day of the Dead, which makes a lot of sense. And then once I did post a video on Monday, Lucia reached out and she actually said, thank you for listening to it. Again, thank you for giving it a second try. She said that she purposely gave this song the sound that she did. The painful sound, the raw sound. She did it on purpose. She did not want it to sound pretty. She wanted it to sound raw and full of grief. So I love the intentionality behind her artistry for this particular selection. And this goes to this proves to me, and this should be a lesson to everybody. Number one, everything is not for everybody. So if you don't like something, that's okay. Everything is not for you. Everything is not for me. That does not mean that it's bad. Also, make sure that you are giving something a fair listen. I'm glad that I did not post my original post, which would not have been bad. I just did not understand, but but knowing that I was not feeling well, I didn't feel like that was a fair representation of me listening to what I've come to find now is this masterpiece, just because I was not in the right frame of mind. So if you don't like something from the beginning, maybe give it another shot. This reminded me of Mark Sheba from last season, who had kind of a gravelly, interesting voice that I did not like until he sang What a Wonderful World, and then I loved it. So don't be afraid to give something a second and third listen if you don't like it right away. She is brilliant. She is an artist. She has everything in her voice. And James, I'm going to push back on one thing that you said. She's not going to do this to every song because she's intentional. Her voice is not going to sound like this for every song because she's going to be very intentional with her song choices and how she wants them to sound. So I'm really looking forward to hearing the other layers and textures to her voice, because just like I said of another artist, I think that her talent is unlimited. I think that she can do pretty much anything with her voice. So I'm so excited to hear more. And just a note, I was on the Voice app as I was watching the show last night, and she said one of her favorite past artists was Mafe from a few seasons ago. Yes. So I was like, yes, Mafe. So yeah, I have come to really
the same place. Who's my guy that sang with Bodie, the duet, one of our favorite duets? What was his name? Who sang with Bodie? I think they're from the same place, because John talked about going up to with his wife to Satoshi Michelle, which is where the Riesling is made, and I think he sang there too. Yeah, Jaden, thank you. Jaden sang. I think they're from the same area in Washington State, if I remember correctly. Because Jaden.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Jaden is from Washington.
Remember, John kind of dissed Jaden before he knew who he was. Remember that whole thing?
Yes. Yes.
And so I don't know what's coming from that part of Washington State, but come on. Come on. That was crazy.
Yeah.
All right, Stephanie. So who did Miss Lucia go with?
So again, she was a 4-chair turn, and Adam had the most compelling pitch. Yeah. So she went with Team Adam.
I love when Adam put his feet up at the end and was like,
he was like, I won.
Was she the only 4-chair turn, or was Kolby a 4-chair turn? I can't remember.
She was the only 4-chair turn of the night. Olivia should have been a 4-chair turn, but
Come on.
Bublé did not turn for her.
And then Michael tried to like backpedal, talking about, well, maybe she's a skill. And then what did John say? Adam ain't giving her up.
He ain't giving her up. He said he ain't giving her up. Right. He ain't giving her up.
Yeah, right, Bublé. You messed up. Boom, boom.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
yeah.
That was it. It looks like we're coming around that corner, starting to wrap up the blind auditions in season 27.
Yes.
Like I said at the top of the show, I feel that this season is coming on strong. Coming on strong. It's been a while since I've enjoyed blinds collectively, like from start to finish, as much as I have this season.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really looking forward to arguably mine and Stephanie's favorite round in the battles. So let's go. One more round of blinds to go. And then we go.
Yes.
All right, Stephanie. So tell them what they need to hear.
All right, so don't forget to follow and subscribe to the Pitchy Podcast on your favorite podcast platform so you can be the first to know when we drop a new episode. And while you're there, please rate and review so more friends can find us. Also, go ahead and head over to YouTube, search for The Pitchy Podcast, and hit that subscribe button so you know when we drop a new video. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at The Pitchy Podcast for new episode alerts, episode clips, and so much more. We are also on Blue Sky. Search for The Pitchy Podcast and you will find us there. Lastly, as we have referenced many times on this episode, we are on Patreon for only $5 a week. You will get the main feed episode early with bonus content and so much more content you can watch with me. I reach out to our Patreons on Fridays where I just can't figure out an artist. I can't wrap my brain around it. So I reach out in video form. So much more. $5 per month on Patreon. Make sure if you do register that you do it on your internet browser and not through the app, so you don't have to pay the extra 30%. And also you can join us on Patreon for free. And I will give you some content for free to let you get your little feet wet and see if you would like to join us for those $5. A little taste. So please join us for free, and then you can sign up for $5 to get the full content.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week which we think is going to be the final week of Blinds, season 27.
Yep.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.